All right, today I thought we'd do some audiobook recommendations of audiobooks that I have loved and recommend that were narrated by celebrities. I'm curious if you've listened to these and if you knew they were narrated by a celebrity. First up is one of the books that is going to end up being one of my favorite books of this whole year. It's Margot's Got Money Troubles, and it is narrated by Elle Fanning, who is also going to star in the adaptation of the book. She just does a really great job narrating this book that is just equally heartwarming as it is laugh out loud hilarious. You will absolutely fall in love with this young single mom who is just doing her best to raise her son and make some money and keep things afloat. The cast of characters is just so unique and quirky. Can't recommend it enough. Next up is The Unsinkable Greta James. This one was narrated by Mae Whitman, who you might know from Parenthood, but I guess she's on this show called Good Girls, which I have not watched yet, but I love Mae Whitman from Parenthood. She also did the City of Bones audiobook, which I found out much later. I think after listening to this one because I was like, did she do any others? It's about an indie rock musician who finds herself at a bit of a boiling point in her life. And she ends up going on this Alaskan cruise with her father, and she just needs a life reset. And it's so heartwarming. There is a romance. I love Jennifer E. Smith, like her YA books, and this was her first adult book, and I loved it. Next up is Hard by a Great Forest. If you've ever wanted Benedict Bridgerton to whisper sweet nothings in your ear, I can't help you with that, but you can listen to him in this audiobook production. This one is inspired by Hansel and Gretel, and it's about a young man returning home to the country that his family fled in search of his father and then his brother, who they've both gone MIA. He's like following these breadcrumbs that they've left in order to find them. Next up is Mrs. Nash's Ashes, which, if you are of a certain age, you will know the narrator Mara Wilson from Matilda and Mrs. Doubtfire. Mrs. Nash's Ashes was like one of my favorite audiobooks and reads of last year. It is an absolute delight. It's about a woman who ends up on a road trip of mishap with a semi-acquaintance grumpy writer who she doesn't want to be on this road trip with, but circumstances have them in a car together heading south. She's on a mission to fulfill her promise to her elderly BFF, who passed away recently, to reunite her via her ashes with the woman that she fell in love with many, 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 many years ago. And I love that it flipped back to that part of the story, and you have the road trip and the love story in the present. Okay, this is a popular one, and you might have already read it, but if you haven't, may I suggest the audiobook? A Man Called Uva, because of J.K. Simmons. He is the narrator for that book. I loved A Man Called Uva so much. And when I